Hi, this is Majinoni. Here's my review for Batman Under the Red Hood animated movie. There might be some spoilers, but I'm not going to tell you the whole thing. And I think most of you guys out there who are familiar with Batman and the Red Hood storyline, you guys pretty much know how it's going to turn out for the most part. So you don't have to worry about major spoilers or anything like that, at least from me. Now, this movie was 75 minutes long, and it does come with a bunch of extras, including a Jonah Hex short, which is I'd say about 20 minutes long or so, give or take a few. Uh, with the Blu-ray version, you do get a digital copy, and it basically is a slipcase, and then inside the case comes the other case with the DVD, like so. And there is another version that comes with a tiny action figure, but I didn't want that one. It's like, I don't want to spend the extra money just for a little action figure that's just going to basically clutter up my room, even more so. So, basically what you get with this movie is this. You get two featurettes. One is for Dick Grayson, and it's basically the evolution of Dick Grayson into Nightwing, and it's the decisions why they chose to make Robin in the first place. Surprisingly, it wasn't like, for an example, for modern times, we would do it because that way we can sell more comics, like action figures, things like that. It's basically, look at this shiny new character, you should now buy my book. Back then, it was the writer had a difficult time basically telling the tale with just Batman as a lone figure. Since he was supposed to be a lone crime fighter, he had nobody to interact with. So, for an example, if he's in an empty room and you need to get him to go from, let's say, the room to the warehouse, there's no way to communicate that other than Batman talking to himself. Now, he did have other characters that he can talk to, like the Alfred and Commissioner Gordon, but he couldn't do that while he's in the middle of a case. So that's why they basically eventually made Robin, is because of that. That way you can advance the storyline and have the two characters talking to each other. Now, there's also another featurette with Jason Todd and his evolution. And I think while the evolution of Robin is important, the Jason Todd one's really important because this gives you exactly what you need to know about the Red Hood. And it gives you a little bit more detail rather than just showing it to you as is in the movie. Like I mentioned before, there's the Jonah Hex short. And the Jonah Hex short's probably about 15-20 minutes or so. And the short was really good. Jonah Hex looked nasty with that scar in his teeth, and you can see his teeth through his cheek. And it's really violent. There's death, prostitutes, there's motorboating going on, and it was like, I was really surprised what they did with it. I really hope that they do another Jonah Hex short, like a 75-minute movie or something like that. I would totally buy it, because I can tell that's already going to be violent and more true to the comic rather than shooting rubber bullets and things like that. You also have a short on the Batman and Superman next movie, which is going to be the Apocalypse one, and that's where Supergirl is reintroduced into the DC universe as Superman's cousin. You don't get to see any animation, but they show you pictures of the book, and then they show you basically, I think there was some storyboarding and mostly the writers and editors and things like that talking about the evolution of the story and what it means to the DC universe type thing. So, for that, I think overall the extras are really good. The trailers are completely worthless. You get, there was a Lord of the Rings Blu-ray cartoon, which is the old Lord of the Rings Blu-ray style, which is, nobody's going to buy this. There was also like Crisis on the Two Earths. There was the other DC shows, but they were all old. So there was no real good surprises there. Anyways, that's basically what was it with the extras, so on with the actual review. Now, the Under the Red Hood actually follows the certain plot points to the comic. but they do deviate here and there. There's a lot of guest stars that appear in this. Several villains, like there's Ra's al Ghul, there's the Joker, obviously, and I thought overall it was really, really good. I know Nightwing's also in this, of course. Now, there is a lot of violence. This is a PG-13 cartoon, and I was really surprised at the level of violence there is in this book. I mean, not the book, but the movie. Like, for an example, if everybody remembers, Jason Todd was basically beaten to near death with a crowbar, right? And then there's the explosion. Well, in this actually happens here. Joker is beating Jason Todd with a crowbar. Now, you don't really get to see the damage that a crowbar would have done to him, but you see a little blood and you get the basic gist of what's going on. They do change locations and the reasons why, but it's basically they have to do it to further this, to basically condense it into this 75-minute short. The origin of the Red Hood has been tweaked a little bit, I guess you can say. It still involves Ra's al Ghul, but there is some changes. Now, while the purist in me is really annoyed that they made some of these changes, as a casual fan just watching the DVD, I go, well, I can live with it because, you can't have, this isn't like what they would have done in an anime where you can have a 6-part OVA series just on the Red Hood. You have to finish it in 75 minutes. So, I'm okay with some of the stuff that they've done. I thought the story was, for the most part, condensed, and it's pretty much to the point. It takes you on a whole journey, so you don't have to worry about, is there going to be a part 2 to this? Well, could there be? Sure, there could be, but it ends, so you don't have to worry about being left on a cliffhanger. I was really, really surprised at the level of violence in regards to what the Red Hood was willing to do. Because if you remember in the comic, he was taking out people, and he really does take out some people. And that really, really surprised me that they would have done this in a DC cartoon. So, I really applaud DC for the decisions they made for this book. For this cartoon. And what really kind of makes me wonder is if DC can do something like this, how come Marvel can't? Marvel has an amazing collection of stories, and their animated shorts just fall flat every single time. Or almost every single time. Judd Winnick, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he actually wrote the screenplay for this, so that gives you an idea of at least they had somebody who's competent, somebody who's grounded in the DC universe, understands Batman. So, it's not like some outsider trying to tamper with things. There is some labor of love, at least, that was put into this. Like I said, overall, I really enjoyed it. I would give it maybe at least a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason why, like I said, I might give it a little bit less is because Mark Hamill did not do the Joker, and that really, really annoyed the hell out of me, because the guy who they got for the Joker, to me, he doesn't sound like the Joker. It's just not the same. And it really bothered me every single time I heard the Joker speak, because in my head I hear Mark Hamill's distinct voice, his distinct laughter, and then something else is coming through the TV. It was just bad. So I just wish that DC gets Mark Hamill back on the Joker and not this other guy, because it was very distracting. And that's basically my review. I would highly recommend, if you're a Batman fan or a DC fan, or even I should say a superhero type fan, this is totally worth buying. Watching it on Blu-ray actually was really good. It's very good quality, very clean, very crisp lines. Colors were really good. I get this stuff is just going to get me spoiled on getting the other cartoons on Blu-ray. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Definitely would like to hear from you guys. If you bought this, tell me what you think. Did you like it? Did you mind the changes that were made to keep it into a shorter 75-minute cartoon? Subscribe to the channel. I'll have more reviews comics, things like that. If I watch more animated comic book properties like this, I'll put those on here as well. So until next time.